Welcome everybody to the Hot Tag Hooligans Wrestling Podcast Show with myself, Aaron, and Tom. It's time to feel the heat with the SummerSlam Prediction Show, and to help us do that this week, it is a wrestling enthusiast that we know very well. It's the one and only Aaron Silvers. How's it going, sir?
Hey, very well. Good evening to y'all. Appreciate y'all having me.
Absolutely. Now, SummerSlam, historically, one of the big four that the WWE puts out every single year: Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, and, of course, WrestleMania. And this kind of sets the tone all the way up to Survivor Series. And this year, big news immediately today is that they have pulled the Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle match from the card. Aaron, your initial thoughts?
Ouch. That's all I can say is ouch. Of all matches, I would have thought that would have been the last one to get the cut. So I am very disappointed.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling to me. And I think Seth Rollins sent out a tweet apologizing to fans, hopefully that they'll see basically taking a shot in WWE, I thought. That hopefully they'll see the bigger picture soon when it comes to him. I can still see him being involved in an angle. The talk is that they're going to use Riddle versus Seth at the Clash at the Castle, which to me is, I don't understand why you just wouldn't have it for SummerSlam, but we are in a new era with Triple H running the show. So perhaps there's a big creative surprise that we are unaware of that this could all lead to. So, Tom, what's your thoughts on that match being removed?
Well, I think the biggest problem is that Clash, it's next weekend, right?
Is it next weekend?
Next weekend. If it's not, it's the weekend after.
Clash is actually in September. Clash at the Castle is September.
Okay. See, I thought there was just a couple-week build. So I don't know. It's a little confusing because that's quite a ways away if that's the case. So where do you go from there? I don't know. I'm disappointed because I think it would probably been one of the best matches on the card. And the direction, I can only just hope and give some goodwill to the new creative team that there's a plan in place. And that's kind of what I'm looking at it as right now.
Yeah. Anytime Seth Rollins, let's be honest, there's times that he kind of works my nerve a little bit. But as far as in the ring, you're almost guaranteed to have a really good match with Seth Rollins on the card. And so they've been really pushing Riddle over the past few months, especially with Randy Orton out. You know, a lot of people thought Riddle was going to get the title shot against Roman, a few months back here at SummerSlam. And I thought, you know what, that's a good momentum boost here for Riddle to get Seth Rollins. I like the feud a lot. Now, they did the injury angle. I guess they're trying to say that he couldn't recover from the curb stomp in time for SummerSlam. But hopefully something big will be set up with Seth Rollins. Maybe it's something at least to maybe a WrestleMania match. I could see them perhaps having some kind of a star there. And maybe setting up something for the future for Seth Rollins creatively. Gable Steveson maybe is a name that's being thrown out there for this weekend. So we'll just have to wait and see. Again, tough break for Riddle, tough break for Seth Rollins. But a match that is on the card, the Mysterios, in a no disqualification tag team match against Judgment Day. And I'll start this off. I'm already tired of this feud. I really wish creative would just get rid of Judgment Day, make them the Balor Club, make them more hip and more cool, and not this dark entity that they are, because no one's really buying this anymore. With Edge, maybe. With Balor, it's not working for me. I'm going to say that Judgment Day wins this match, and I'm going to say Dominic perhaps goes to the dark side. Aaron?
Yeah, so I'm going to have to disagree with you on the Judgment Day. I am a huge fan of that mix there, all the way from the entrance to their work in the ring and who they have involved. I'm a huge Priest fan and Balor. Overall, this match, I think we're going to see Mysterios win this match with some shenanigans involved. I'm really stretching here, but I'm having a feeling we're going to see an Edge and Beth Phoenix involvement. Especially with Rhea Ripley being the female and having to have a female involved. So hoping to see something like that, get some excitement, but I can't hate on my Judgment Day. They're probably going to lose, but I still love them. I love it.
See, I I like what you've booked there. I don't know that I have the faith that they're going to do that. However, I'm kind of with Aaron on the Judgment Day. They have all the elements to be a super group, but it's missing something for me. I like all of them individually. I think they're all. Let's be honest. Finn Balor is probably one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Priest is very good, and he's got a huge upward momentum. He could be a big star. And Rhea Ripley could be a big star. I don't think she's been booked very well before Judgment Day started, which didn't help anything. And then her getting injured didn't help anything. Now that she's back, and now that Triple H is at the helm, what can we make out of Judgment Day that's more I don't even know how to put it into words really, but I need it to grab me and pull me in. But I feel like they kind of do the same thing every week. And it's just nothing special when I'm looking at these talents, and I think there's something special with all these talents. I want something more out of it. So for me, I'm ready for this feud to be over, but I can see the Mysterios winning, but either way, I think there's definitely shenanigans going down, but it's got to be something with Edge, in my opinion. It has to be. Because if you don't bring Edge back to at least finish that part of the story, then why did we do it to begin with? Why did we take out Edge? Why did we do all that? So to me, that's got to come. So hopefully, again, fingers crossed, SummerSlam is big when it comes to that match.
Yeah, the one thing about Judgment Day, I love every one of them separately. I liked Edge with Priest and Rhea. I thought that was a great trio together. And then when they put Finn in, I was a little bit like, because who's the leader? It's almost like some weeks Rhea's the leader. It's almost some weeks Priest is the leader. And I don't think the fans have bought into this. So hopefully, no matter what it is, they will elevate them in a way that makes them matter more, because I don't think those three deserve to be just curtain jerkers and mid-carders and jobbers. I mean, all three of those can be elevated to the main event status of their divisions. So it'll be very interesting what they do with that. A match I'm not very excited for, Logan Paul versus The Miz. Look, The Miz works hard when he's in the ring. I'm sure they've got a good match laid out. And Logan Paul was kind of impressive at WrestleMania. He did some nice things in his in the tag match. So I'm pretty sure they've got some kinks worked out. It'll be fine. But Logan Paul is going to beat The Miz at SummerSlam. Aaron?
I would agree with that win. I think Logan Paul's definitely going to take it. My only disappointment with this is I think we're going to see Logan Paul win, but we're going to see him booed out of the stadium. He's got a lot of haters out there. If you watched the MSG on Monday when they were at the Garden, not a lot of feedback from any reaction at all to him. He was waiting for it at times, and it was kind of awkward. So I'm kind of curious to see what he does. We obviously know he can work. We've seen him at Mania. Great worker. Hats off to him on his first match at Mania doing that. Hopefully we see a repeat. But I think we see him go with the win with possibly Maurice inadvertently costing Miz the match somehow. So again, Logan Paul, I'm not a fan, but I think he's going to go away with the win.
I'm excited for the match itself because I want to see what Logan's going to do. I want to see how he's going to perform. Is he going to continue his momentum in the ring that he had from WrestleMania? But as far as do I care about it? No, I don't. For one, I'm not supposed to like The Miz because he's a heel. But let's be honest, Logan Paul is a heel. Whether they want him to be or not, I mean, he just comes off as somebody you don't like. So when you have two people that you don't like, you don't really have an investment on who wins or loses. Now, if it's two people you don't like and they're in a crazy hardcore death match or something, maybe that would be more entertaining because both of them are going to get hurt. But when you're just having a straight up match, I don't really care who wins or loses. I think it was a bad idea to put him up against The Miz, even though I guess that's the direction that they come up with at WrestleMania with the turn, and they feel like they had to pay that off somehow. But it just, to me, does not make for good television.
100% agree with that. And nothing against Logan Paul. But the reason why I don't need Logan Paul is because of the next match we're going to discuss. And that's Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. Okay? Because anytime Pat McAfee's in the ring, I'm super excited because I know what he gives me. And it feels like every time he is in the ring, it gets better and better. And these two are former football teammates. And so there's no doubt they want to put on a good show. And Happy Corbin is probably one of the more underrated wrestlers of the year. He gets great heel heat. He always works hard. I've seen a lot of great development in his character. Of course, I'd rather him get away from the Happy Corbin gimmick, but it works for him because people want to hate him. And Pat McAfee, I'm just telling you, he always puts on the show. And the fans are always behind him. And I'm going to pick Pat McAfee to beat Happy Corbin at SummerSlam. Tom.
So, Pat McAfee is a rare talent. He is somebody who has come into this world and he was made for it. It ain't about necessarily how many moves you do, what high spots you can do. Don't get me wrong, he can do them. But the crowd cares what he's doing at every moment. And he is entertaining. I mean, just from announcing to in the ring, promos, whatever he's doing, he is top notch. And I think they struck gold whenever they signed him and figured out how good he was, because not everybody can just be that good. And like you said, Happy Corbin is a great foe for him because, for one, it doesn't matter if Happy Corbin wins or loses. It doesn't matter. So I agree with you. I think Pat McAfee is going to get the win. I think he needs to win, but I think it's going to be a very good match. And I think, like you said, I think they're going to probably put their all into it, which, I mean, I think they do that always. But I think there's something a little extra for this one for them, too. Because they do have that history together. But yeah, it's one of the matches that I'm looking forward to the most.
Go ahead, Aaron.
All right, so love him or hate him, I'm quite the hater of Mr. Corbin, but I will tell you that he can go. I'll give credit what credit's due. I agree with you saying he's underrated. He can definitely go. He definitely can work with anybody they put him with, and he's proven that. Been a super heel for a very long time. And McAfee's making it look so good right now. McAfee's a good mix to put with that. And McAfee, as Tom mentioned, gold on the mic. He's a natural in the ring. He's a pure athlete. McAfee's going to come out with this one. I really think he's going to come out with this one. And overall, again, McAfee is I'm a fan. Not only of his in-ring work, but his outside of WWE, what he does for the communities. So McAfee gets the nod.
Yeah, I wanted for SummerSlam after WrestleMania, and Tom knows this, I wanted Pat McAfee versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. That was the match I wanted. I think that match would be unbelievable. And maybe they're saving that one for WrestleMania. Because that's a direction I really would like to see them go in. I really would. And Seth could win. It's fine. But man, I want to see how much we can get out of Pat McAfee while we can. So,
speaking of that, let me ask you this:
okay.
Where do you see Pat McAfee's trajectory? Because we talk about how entertaining he is, how good he is. Do you see him holding any title?
Why couldn't he hold the U.S. Championship? I mean, he's not going to be the world champ. Let's get that straight. But why couldn't he be the Intercontinental? He's won the 24/7 title. So I guess that counts. But yeah, why couldn't he be the U.S. champion? Why couldn't he be an Intercontinental champion before it's all said and done? Why couldn't he be a tag team champion? You could have him involved in an angle and teaming with somebody. That way, it kind of helps him out and grow some more. Be perfect for him. I really like him a lot. Again, and I get it. He may not want to do it. He may not want to do it and put that much devotion into it, and I'm okay with that. But yeah, I mean, sky's the limit for him if he really wanted it.
Absolutely. I agree with the same thing. Definitely, I could see him with one of those entry-level titles, if you want to call it that. He did great work in NXT. They put him behind the stick and behind the table now, but he can go out there and go at any point in time. So he could definitely wear a strap at some point, Tom.
You know, Vince was a world champion, right?
I'm sure he
Let's go. That was okay. Let's go. That was.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. Speaking of anything can happen, someone, since they won the Money in the Bank briefcase, is now 0-6. And that's Austin Theory. He's going to go to try to get the United States Championship back from Bobby Lashley. I don't know if Triple H okay, let me just say this. We assume Triple H is really running the show. We don't know 100% sure. Hell, it could still be Vince for all we know. We know Vince was very high on Theory. Triple H may not be as high on Theory. I don't think Theory's going to win this belt back. I don't. I just don't see what would be the point with him winning the title and holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. But I will say, historically, when people go on these long losing streaks like this, like a Drew McIntyre did or something like that, they do wind up with the title before it's all said and done. So that'd be very interesting to see what they would do with them. But I believe that perhaps this is going to be like a disqualification type finish to the match. That way, Theory doesn't get beat by the Hurt Lock again. And I'm going to pick Bobby Lashley to win the match.
Well, let me throw this out there.
Oh, Lord.
How shocking and how pissed would everyone be if Austin Theory beats Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship and then cashes in and walks away with all 3 titles?
I'm not okay. So I know a lot of people are going to have a lot of heat, and we'll get to him perhaps cashing in later, because I think that could be a big possibility in the main event. I really do think that could be a possibility. So I think everyone would be kind of pissed. I wouldn't be pissed. I always like to see some newness, some shocking moments. I love it. I love to see young talent rise, and let's try to build some stars. I'm all about that stuff. So I wouldn't be too upset with that. So, Aaron, on the Lashley and Theory match, though.
So I'm gonna say Theory loses, and I'm gonna say Theory loses clean. I think we're gonna see the hands being washed of this feud, if you will, so they can move on with Theory to bigger things, if you want to say that. In my opinion, I think they need another path for Lashley, and he's got to wash his hands of Theory some way. And I think that's going to happen this weekend. So Theory's definitely going to lose. I think it'll be clean. I really do. And goes to the next step, which we'll get to here shortly, to the end of this show, or it could be the start of the show. We don't know at this point. So we'll talk about that here shortly. But Theory is definitely, in my opinion, is losing this clean.
I think he should lose clean, but I have this weird feeling that some shenanigans are going down at SummerSlam.
I've got a lot of shenanigans going on.
Oh, yeah.
There's several that could potentially be going down.
And I'm hoping this isn't like Run-In City and Disqualification City and Interference City. And I hate that. I hate that type of stuff. It's okay once per show, maybe. I don't need it never. So.
We haven't talked about Ziggler yet either. Maybe
and that's the thing. They've already got Ziggler basically kind of lined up here for Theory. So, and I don't think that needs any title. Let's be honest. It doesn't need any title.
No, I agree.
So, because I don't want to see that feud for a title anyway. So, I don't think that. Now, could Ziggler cost Theory his cash in? And if so, that would show you that they've lost, that Triple H doesn't think as high a theory as maybe Vince did. So, one match I did not think that we would get at SummerSlam is the SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan being your champion against Ronda Rousey. Good moment for Liv. Glad she was able to win the title. Of course, I thought maybe if she was going to win it, it would be on the Raw side, but they did the flip, which was kind of cool and kind of neat. No one was expecting it. And I really don't know what to think about this match. I think it's kind of too soon to take the belt from Liv. But I also believe that Ronda doesn't need to be losing a lot either. And with that being said, I'm going to pick Liv to win the match because this is where my interference comes in. I think Charlotte or Bayley returning is going to interfere and cost Ronda Rousey the match. So I'm going to pick Liv to walk out as your SmackDown Women's Champion after this match. I would like Charlotte to cost Ronda so that way they can go off, and I would like Bayley to beat up Liv after the match to set up that feud. Aaron.
So bingo with the run-ins. I'm on the same page with you. And we're definitely going to see either a Bayley return or a Charlotte interference in a return, or both. We know Charlotte's going to be in town for Flair's last match on Sunday. We know that it's been public that she will be there, so she will be at SummerSlam. I have no doubt. Bayley, we've all been waiting on this return. We thought it was going to happen at Mania. We thought it was going to be Rumble. It's time for the next big show. It's got to happen now, I think. My high hopes is even stretching a little further. Is maybe Bayley Charlotte come out, interfere, cost Ronda the match, and we see Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey tag team against Charlotte and Bayley in the future for the vacant women's titles. Far stretch, but
that's a good point because they haven't done anything with those, even though they said they were going to do a silly tournament or something. They've done nothing. So I hope they're not gone forever. So to me, that sounds like a very good idea. But my concern with this match, who's the ringleader? Who's the one who is leading this match between Liv and Ronda? You got Ronda, who, let's be honest, hasn't wrestled hundreds of matches. You've got Liv, who hasn't wrestled hundreds of matches, especially quality matches. I feel like it's got to be interrupted fairly quickly because I don't see either one of them leading a match for more than 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the shortest match of the night. I meant to say that. I just really do. I think this is going to be the shortest match of the night.
Yeah, that makes me almost positive that somebody's running in and doing something because I can't see them having a lengthy match. I just can't see it.
Yeah, and you mentioned the tag titles, and I don't want to get all into this because I want to make sure we get everything in here for the show. This is his new era. Who's to say Sasha and Naomi aren't going to be back? That would be my main hope. That if I was Triple H and I'm really in charge, I'm picking up the phone and I'm be like, "Listen, I got you. Let's get this back. I'm gonna give y'all what y'all wanted. We're gonna make this mainstream, and the tag titles mean something. Let's go." That's my main hope because Sasha and Naomi are both very valuable to this roster. So hopefully they're back sooner than later. On the Raw side, it's time. Becky Lynch is going to beat Bianca Belair at SummerSlam, in my opinion, and become the new Raw Women's Champion. I think Becky's kind of paid her dues a little bit, and giving Bianca the run. I think this run with Bianca is missing something. I really do. I think her last run on the SmackDown side was a lot better than this Raw side, and it could just be because who they got her lined up against. And they believe more in Becky than they do in Bianca. It's nothing against Bianca. I think she's a star. But I think Becky Lynch is going to get this title back this weekend. Aaron?
I'm going to go with Bianca in this one. I think she's going to retain. I really do. I think the company is behind her more than we think or we know. We hear it in every match that she's in about how powerful and strong she is. The only disappointment I have, I'm not a fan of Bianca at all, to be honest with you. I see a lot of botched moves taking place whenever she's talked about being so powerful in the ring. I hate to say it again, but I think she's going to walk away retaining this weekend. I really do. And what that does for Becky, I don't know. I think we see something different with her, and we see Alexa poke her head into the mix on Monday night.
Well, for me, I feel like Becky needs to win, but I don't think I'm with you. I don't think it's going to happen. I feel like this is going to be one of those stories that they drag out too far. But again, it also depends on if there's going to be some sort of reset with new direction and creative. But if they continue the trajectory that it's going, I feel like they're just going to continue this pattern, because I think they like having Bianca on a billboard, on a poster, holding that championship. It's a great story for her to get there, to hold that title, for it to mean something. And I think that they have a lot of stock into that. However, I am more excited about Bianca when she's chasing the championship. So I would prefer for Becky to cheat and take the title from her. I would find that a whole lot more entertaining. And for her to figure out a way to get back into that title picture and, try to go for it, I think that's more entertaining to me. But yeah, I see Bianca retaining.
Yep. Well, we're gonna have to move fast here for everyone, because again, great Zoom only gives us so much time, unfortunately, unless you want to pay a bunch of money for the Zoom product. But don't worry, Zoom, we love you. We got 2 matches to go, so we'll try to get through these pretty fast here so we can wrap this up. The tag team titles, I don't know why Jeff Jarrett's a damn referee. It makes no sense to me why he's the referee. The Street Profits against the Usos. I thought this should have been a ladder match. I thought that's what they were going with, but instead they bring Jeff Jarrett in. Listen, I'm going to pick the Usos because I don't think the Street Profits are the team that's going to beat them. I don't know what you do with the Street Profits after this because they've lost so many times. But I'm going to pick the Usos. I don't see the Street Profits being the team that beats them.
I want the Street Profits to win. I say this every time. They're my boys. I love them. I love everything about the Street Profits. But I don't see them beating the Usos. I like what the Bloodline's doing. I'm a big fan of the Bloodline. I think they're going well. And I feel like they're going to break up the Street Profits at some point, even though I hate that idea, because I see absolutely nothing for Dawkins right now as a singles competitor. I see him getting cut. But I absolutely love them as a tag team. And I don't think they've gotten their flowers as a tag team, as good of a tag team as they are. So that's where I stand on it. I hope they win, but I don't think they will.
So I think I'm going to disagree with y'all on this one. I'm going to go with Street Profits finally get their paycheck. They get their dues, if you will. They paid their dues up to this point. So I think the Street Profits are going to walk away with this one, and we're going to see a Uso complaining session of Jeff Jarrett cost us that match. We deserve a rematch tonight. We deserve a rematch here, there, and everywhere. But Street Profits are finally going to get those titles, and rightfully so. It'll be the match of the night, in my opinion. It will steal the show, in my opinion.
I hope you're right.
Yeah, Tom will be definitely celebrating like
I'm all
Hopkins does if they do. In the main event, last man standing match, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar for the unified WWE Universal Championship. The last man standing concept is cool because Theory could always come and cash in as they're both knocked out and walk away the title to some major heel heat. Of course, Lesnar this past week was basically walking out of the building when Vince supposedly was gone. So with that, it kind of makes me feel like that he doesn't want to be there. And so I'm going to pick Roman Reigns to win this match. And I'm going to say, even if Theory cashes in, Roman's going to walk out the champion. I don't think Theory is his time to win the title right now. So at the end of SummerSlam, Roman Reigns will still be your champion. Aaron.
Agreed. I believe the same thing. As far as Lesnar, I believe we're going to see him go away for a while and maybe for good. If he is truly behind the Vince movement, he showed on Friday. So we may see Lesnar for the last time this weekend. Hate to say it. But I do think Reigns walks away with it. Theory is going to attempt to cash in, I believe, but I don't think he's going to be successful. I agree with you on that. I don't believe it's his time. And we could be seeing Theory going a long run of losses and maybe be booed in stadiums even more than he already is. So Reigns will be our champion on Saturday evening.
One word: shenanigans.
Yes.
Austin Theory's going to leave with the championship. That's what's happening.
I think Austin Theory will be the champion when he turns babyface. I can see I don't know how they get there, but he's got a great look. His in-ring work's really great. I think it's too soon for him. I mean, I really do. If he wins it, great, because I'd love to see Roman's face as it happens. It'll be great. But to me, Roman is the top of his game right now. I absolutely love everything about the bloodline. And I just don't think, again, Street Profits are the team. And I don't think Lesnar's sticking around. And so it is what it is. So, yeah, I think Roman's going to walk out the champion. But we'll see. If there he is, I'm great with it. I think I would be least happy if it's Brock for once. And I'm a big Brock guy. So that kind of says a lot. So, but who knows? Who knows? And we don't understand. I guess if you cash in, you get both belts. I mean, they really didn't explain that either.
Right.
Who knows? And the same thing about Street Profits. I mean, do they just win both belts, or is it for one belt? I mean, what's it for? So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right. Myself and Tom will be down at StarCast this weekend. So if anybody's out there and around, come say hi to us. I'll be at the Black Label Pro Show on Friday night as well. Plan to be back home before SummerSlam starts. If I can get through all this Nashville traffic. I'm not going to go to SummerSlam, and as of now, neither is Tom. But for everyone who is, stay safe. Go out and support all the talent. If you're at StarCast, again, come up, say hi to us. We'd love to talk to everyone, and we appreciate everyone for the support. Aaron, thank you so much, sir, for joining us tonight. We got to get you back for some more prediction shows. Maybe the Clash of the Castle. We'll have to check it out and get that date right. But thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And I appreciate you all.
Absolutely. For everyone out there, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate all the support as always. And if you're bored traveling to and from, pick up a copy of my book, Independent Road: A Wrestler's Journey. For myself, Tom, and Aaron, everyone enjoy SummerSlam. One of us is right with our picks, right? So enjoy the weekend. Great weekend of wrestling ahead. Thank y'all. Good night.